What up, nerds? In this video, I want to cover how to deal with cross-language scripting inside of the Godot engine. Now, Godot does support multiple scripting languages with the optional third-party ones as well. So this is how you would go about actually combining everything if you need to. In this video, I'll be covering just GDScript and C#, however. Now, if you do find this video helpful and you want to support the channel, I will link my Steam developer page in the description below. So if we go over here into this quick project I opened up and look at the GDScript example, I have a simple variable, and inside of my ready function, I will be loading my C# script and then accessing it. It is easier to have GDScript interact with other languages than vice versa, and I'm really mostly speaking from experience in C#. Uh, and it's because of the dynamic nature of GDScript, the way it is working with the C# is when we actually call, say, well, when we try and get this property, or when we try and call this function, it goes through Godot's translation layer, and under the hood, it pretty much calls some specific functions, which is how actually C# has to communicate back to GDScript in a more manual way. So it'll make more sense when I actually show the C# side of things, but if we take a look at the C# script, it's pretty much the same thing. We need to load the file, create a new instance of it, cast it to a Godot object, and then these functions right here, they are what I was referring to as what happens really underneath the hood. It exists in C#, you have to do it explicitly. So when you use the get function, it is getting a variable. When you call the set function, it is setting a variable. And the same thing with call. The call function, you have to pass in the string name of the function that you're trying to call. All right. And I also am showcasing that in the context of Godot and GDScript, it being a private method doesn't really matter. All right. So if you need to, you can pause the video and look at how this is set up. And if you notice in GDScript, all we do is access the actual property, or we just call the function specifically. So print in C#, heavy calc, print in C#, heavy calc. And like I said, just assume this is a heavy calculation. It's just to show how, we can also return types in both languages as well. So when we print this at the bottom, let's bring up the output log. All this was changed in GDScript. We have the correct return value. We're showing that we can still access private functions. And in the C# side of things, we call print the thing, print many times with a couple different arguments, because everything after the first string, it's going to be the arguments to the method. And with the set function, it's going to be the field and then the value that you want the field to be. All right. And here we go. Down here, we're returning an integer. C# was able to get it. We called the loop. So that is pretty much the down and dirty of how you can always communicate with another scripting language. If you have to, you can go through the get call and the set call. So what this means is that you can still do a lot of heavy lifting in C# and just have your GDScript call functions inside of C sharp, because C sharp is still a pretty performant language and you don't have to necessarily set up a whole build system for C++ or go down and deal with that language if you don't want to. All right, and that pretty much covers how we can do cross-language scripting for the most part. Some last things to note, I did leave a comment in here, when you are calling from one language to another, you have to make sure that the data that you're trying to marshal through is a piece of data that Godot actually recognizes. So if we have a class that doesn't inherit from a Godot object, then we wouldn't be able to just send that through to GDScript as an example. And on the GDScript side of things, at least in the case of C sharp, the script itself has to have a class that is named the same as the script. So in this example, the C sharp example is the script name, and that is also my class's name. If there does not exist a class with this name, then you will get an error. Now, as always, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments below. And if you have anything else you want me to cover specifically regarding around C sharp or Godot, then please do let me know. See you, nerds.